Greetings. Y'all hit that like button. Hit the like button, share this video out. Um, wow. So Traci Braxton, who is one of the older sisters of the Braxtons, is she the oldest? No, Toni Braxton is the oldest. And I think there is then Traci, then Tawanda, then Trina, and Tamar, and the brother Michael, who will be discussed in other videos. It comes in somewhere. I think he's after Toni, if I'm not mistaken. However, I know we're all tuned in. Well, a lot of us are tuned in to everything that's going on. I've been tuned in since they first came on the scene because for me, I'm cutting up potatoes, y'all. For me, they took the place of the Kardashians. I used to watch the Kardashians a lot, and I would never feel no shame. Okay? Sip my lemonade on that. Never feel no shame. So, I've been watching them since day one. Traci is one of our favorites, and I gotta say our, because yes, Traci is definitely one of our favorites. And we've been discovering a lot about the Braxtons since they've been on the scene. Most of it ain't good. But you know, that's with a lot of families, right? That's with a lot of families. They have drama, secrets, and a lot of things that they didn't even know that they had. And I'm pretty sure, ooh, stuck on my earring. I'm pretty sure when they first came out, they did not expect, when they came out with the show, they didn't expect all of this drama to come forth. They just was capitalizing on a moment, right? Somebody offered them a show, they took the offer, and they've been running that show for a long time now. And since then, the lovely Traci has passed. Traci being one of the older sisters. When they first started out, and we first got the Toni Braxton, they had a singing group, all of the sisters together. I guess the brother can't sing, or they didn't want no boys in the group, or they just wanted to go on without the brother because he was doing some things to them, allegedly. But again, that's a whole nother video. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. So they went out, they sang lovely voices. I remember a lot of the earlier shows when they would always harmonize and just make up songs on the spot, and they harmonized very well together. Like, who can I think of? An old group, like a quartet singing group, a Boys the Man. That's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear them. And they would just make up songs like Tony's Always Late. Because, of course, the Toni Braxton, she's always late. And so they make the beats and sing. And those were some of the best episodes that I remember watching. And we fell in love with them just watching them on the show. And, you know, their funny quirks, their dramas. And Tamar was always extra. And, you know, they had their arguments, but, you know, they made it seem like it was all love in the beginning. But Tamar was always the one that, I'm going to say it seemed like she was acting out a lot. And it seemed like she was bringing a lot of drama to the show, which, hands down, she made the show. She kept that show long running because Tamar is a character all in herself. And I don't know, I think I started out liking Tamar, and then it came to a point where I could not stand Tamar because it seemed like she was always bringing drama, always having an attitude, and always disrespecting everybody. But as we all know, usually when stuff like that happens, and you have that kind of behavior from somebody, it's something going on. It is something going on with that person, and some things have happened. So, you know, over the years, we have found that there are still secrets that are uncovering about the Braxtons. And they're going to continue to come out because the Braxtons are steadily doing their shows and steadily putting their stuff out here. So we going to talk about it. Okay, we going to talk about it. I want y'all to hit that like button. Now, Traci was unable to go out with the Braxtons in the beginning when they got signed, because Traci was pregnant with the one and only son that her and her husband had, and that is Kevin Jr. Trina was pregnant also, but from the story that we were told, Trina was pregnant earlier than Traci, and Trina had had her baby that in time enough to go out with them. Who kept the baby? The mama, Mama Braxton, Evelyn. Yeah, I don't think it was the baby daddy. So maybe the mama. I don't know. But at any rate, Trina was able to go out with them and be a part of the group. Traci wasn't allowed to go. So they're from Baltimore, Maryland. And Traci and Kevin Sr. got married, and they lived in Baltimore. And the daddy lived in Baltimore. Now, being that they were singing, the other girls and the mama, they moved. I believe Atlanta, LA, different places, but they didn't stay in Baltimore. So you got some of the family still home in Baltimore, even the brother, Michael, okay, while he's having his children. All right, originally he had 2 daughters, then he remarried or got married the first time. Jury's kind of still out. And he had then 2 sons. So being that Traci and her husband was still in Baltimore, where the daddy was and where the brother was, Traci's son and Michael, the brother's children, they had a relationship. And Traci had a good greetings. How are you? Thank you for hitting that like button. And thank you for your comments. Traci and her father had a good relationship because they were right there. And he was able to be involved with her family, her children, and all that, right? But Traci and Tony Braxton and all the girls and boy and Michael, their mother and father did not stay together. They got a divorce. As we saw in one episode, and they talked about them getting a divorce and the fact that they both were in the church, that he was a preacher, and the mama took her fork and stabbed it into the food, and she said, "'Cause you laid it low and you spread it wide." She was shaking and everything. That episode, I would never forget that. I gotta look it up one day and rewatch it, because she had some animosity against him, which of course caused her daughters that were with her to have some animosity against the dad. Now, Traci wasn't with the mama and the girls. She was with her husband, her family, and she had a baby, and she wasn't with the group. So she was there having a relationship with her dad. And, they resented the dad. They resented Traci for having a relationship with her daddy. I mean, it made sense. That's her dad. What happened between the mom and the dad? We got to try to leave the children out of it. And her dad is right there. The mom is over there catering to this singing group, right? So Traci got the unfair shake of the stick, and she had the hurt in her heart from not being able to sing with her sisters, because she just as talented and beautiful as them. But they excluded her. Okay, she said it. They told her to abort. I don't know if we can say that, but thank you for hitting the like button. Hit the like button, please, y'all. When you come in, hit the like button. Thank you. But she wasn't doing that. And thankful to Traci, Kevin Jr., your ass is here. Okay, while you betraying your mama, and sometimes children do that. Whether they understand it, know it or not, they do it. And that's what he doing. And hey, boy, we from the outside looking in. So we know we don't know everything, but just like your daddy said, your father, he been there from day one. He been on the inside. He know. Some of us been watching from day one. I've seen people do commentary, and they just kind of skimming it. They jumping in on it. or you know, they watch the episode here and there. Baby, I watched all them damn episodes. Okay, so when they eventually started bringing Traci Braxton, and thank you, into the show. You know how they have subtitles when they introduce you, and like they have the beginning of the show come on, they throw the credits, they say Tony, the superstar. Um, I forgot what to say, Tremont, the baby, the brat, or whatever. I don't know. It was something. And, you know, each one of them, they have something that attributes to what their personality for the show is supposed to be. Tawanda should have been the snake. That's what it should have been, and then looking back at it, but I think they had her as the responsible one. Now we know that was a crock of crap because Tawanda, and you know, it just wasn't true. Responsible how? She did have a couple of children. She had a husband at home taking care of the children, but she had problems with him. He didn't want to work, but he was a stay-at-home dad. So I don't know. But Tony Braxton was paying most of her bills, and then, you know, also Tamar. Now, I believe Trina was doing it too, but Trina didn't say that. But Tawanda also was stealing. Tawanda stole from her own mama. Well, Social Security, something like that. Tawanda stole from Tony Braxton. Tawanda stole from Tamar. Probably Trina too, but Trina ain't gonna never do it like that. Responsible my ass. So I go into that to say to get to Traci because they had Traci on there as the wannabe. Now I'm pretty sure she had to sign agreement to that to be on the show. So every time Traci would come on screen and she speak and they pop up her name, underneath it would be the wannabe. Imagine becoming well-known singers and having a sister who we're really introduced to her through this show because we didn't get to see her with y'all in the group. And you're introducing her to us as the wannabe. And as her story is coming out, we're finding out that, you know, she has some unresolved issues with y'all because you held the resentment against her because she was close with her father. Bless her for that. She didn't get the mama like y'all did. But y'all mad because she cool with her daddy. She don't got nothing to do with what happened in that marriage. Or the fact that her mother didn't make more effort to be a part of her and her family's life. Her daddy was right there, and that's her daddy. Then she wasn't a part of the group. So they have these issues, and we saw all of that play out, and they treated Traci like hot garbage truck juice. Okay? There's no mistaking that, no doubts about it, no take back, no reduces, none of that. It happened, and we saw it. Okay, we saw it, and it pissed a lot of us off. And you know, we began to see Traci personality and loved it, and loved her, fell in love with her. Traci had dreams of joining back with them. They played with her on that. I don't know if it's a combination of them and the show, but they played with her on that back and forth over and over again. Broke that girl heart 1,000 times. She eventually, though, was able to, her and her husband, let's keep it, they were able to eventually start negotiating things for Traci. Because Traci was like, I'm tired of being coming on here portrayed as the sister that got left out, the sister that's angry because she got left out, the wannabe. I want to sing too. And if y'all remember, they played in Traci's face time and time again about allowing her to be on this record, be on that album, do this, do that, sing here, sing there, go on tour, be a backup dancer, because they backup danced for Tony Braxton for a long time, here and there. And you know, Traci had to negotiate herself into these things. Her and her husband had to negotiate her into these opportunities. And that's a crying shame. And some of us will never forget that. We would never forget that. They had to negotiate her into being able to come along and do some backup dancing and singing for Tony Braxton while the other girls was doing it too. Okay, they had to negotiate her being able to get more airtime that didn't portray her in the light of being a wannabe, but also highlighted her family at home, her relationship with her dad, her relationship with her husband and her son, who eventually grew up and started he had a baby of his own close towards the end of Tracy's life. He had a wife. They wanted to show her as the wannabe only. That's all they wanted to show Tracy as. Tracy ended up doing an album. I think she did too, if I'm not. Man, let me tell you, boom, that's who I should have did as Halloween. I'm gonna have to put that down for next year. That album cover Tracy did. Tracy likes to ride motorcycles. I believe her husband does too, but I know Tracy is an avid motorcycle rider. I am a rough rider, you know. And Tracy loved riding motorcycles. I know I said it 1,000 times, but Tracy loved riding. I just always thought that was so cool. She was rough, you know. Tracy had this. If you go back and see her album cover, okay, we live, so, but she had this ripped up sweater that she wore, and it had the big holes in it, and it was off the shoulder, and I never forget it. She was leaning, girl. That was a sexy mama when she got in her sexy mode. Oh my God! And she was one leg up on the motorcycle, and she had on some fishnets and I think some boots, some black boots, and it was all black. Everything was all black, and I was like, ooh, not too much. She barely had on anything, but it was just enough. It was hot. It was hot. I know her husband was like, good God. When she started getting into singing and doing her albums and getting all dolled up and sexy and everything, we was over here clapping for Tracy and happy for Tracy and everything. And then we started to find out that Tracy was ill, and Tracy had what kind of cancer? Throat cancer, pancreatic cancer. I think it was throat cancer. I don't know, but it wasn't something that was revealed to us right away. So, which we can all respect and understand, but it's kind of like we found out at the end. And then there was some debate about whether or not Tracy wanted to be seen or should be seen in a certain state, which is her late stages and her sickness and being thin and just not looking like the same full plump, you know, Tracy that we are used to. And from what I understand and can recall, Tracy wanted people to see, which makes sense. But of course, the Braxtons didn't want that. Now, the husband tried to honor her wishes, as I've always seen him do. And this is a man that she's been with 20, 30 years, 30-something years. That's a long time. A long time. Your spouse, who you married to, that is your, you join together, you're one. I don't get why people want to debate that. But there's some debate, and I'm here to clear that up, okay? Because people seem to want to make things about their opinions and their emotions. And when it comes to legalities, it don't got nothing to do with your emotions. Just like your ignorance of the law is no excuse in the courtroom, okay? That is a law. Your ignorance, the fact that you didn't know, don't got nothing to do with what is. And you will be held accountable still. And just because you want to be next to kin, people have been passing away since they've been born. So there's been debates about and surrounding people's passing since the beginning of time, and people always want to debate who, this, that, what, and how. That's why you got to have your stuff together, and you got to have written and expressed desires, wills, and things like that. Trust, however you want to set it up, but you need to have what you want expressed. All right. In addition to what is law, because when you don't write something down, then you're leaving it up to the courts to make decisions, and they're going to go off of certain things. That's different states, different, However, it's not too far from each other. And it is, what is law? What is law? Even when we talk about Social Security, I'm divorced. Okay. I haven't remarried. My ex-husband hasn't remarried. Now, one of us passed away. The other one, in some ways, you still get treated as the spouse. Okay. You can get a payment. You can get a death payment for that spouse. So on and so forth. Marriage is business. Marriage is paperwork. It's a legal tying between the two people. It's supposed to be between the people and God too. Everybody can have their own beliefs about that. But it definitely is a business, and it definitely is a legal binding contract between you, the government, and you and the state. And that determines everything. You can ask any woman who is a girlfriend or fiance, okay, whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. But you don't have half the rights you will have as a wife. As a wife, ain't no questions about it. Okay? And nobody can't stop you. Nobody can't debate you. Nobody can't nothing. You are king, queen. You say so. Before anybody else. Including children, Kevin. Including children. Even when you're divorced and never remarried and you have children, that ex-spouse can still have precedence over your own children legally. Again, depends on the situation, depends on the state. But if you allow your stuff to go into probate, good luck, because the judge is going to be the one making decisions. So you got to have written and expressed desires. Traci did. There should be no debate about Traci's stuff. She got the law on her side, and she has also written what she wants. Yet and still, we have Kevin Jr., who, in my opinion, is taking sides with the Braxtons, who treated his mama like hot garbage truck juice, over and against his own father. We've seen this play out since day one. No matter how low-key they try to keep it, we've seen this play out. Now, let me tell you, these Braxtons being public figures, I can't say I 100% am against it, because that's just how you got to do when you're a public figure. But being that they're public figures and they have this reality show on top of that, they've tried to keep certain appearances and keep certain things out of the media and things like that. And they use things to their advantage. They exploit situations. With a reality show, you got to, because you gonna get kicked off. It's gonna go away. They need the drama. They need something to draw the audience in and all that. So some of that we can give a pass for. Some of that just ain't cool. And I guess your morals can decide how you feel about what you're what. However, when it came to her passing, her being sick, they had debates about that. Even after she passed, they want to debate back and forth with her own husband about how she wanted to be portrayed in her illness. You can't debate with that woman husband about nothing ever. Okay, and this is to all the Braxtons, the mama, the daddy, the sisters, anybody. The son, you cannot debate with her husband about a doggone thing. For one, he's her husband. Okay, legally, he is the one. His say-so is law, and his say-so is first and foremost over y'all's. Secondly, he was her husband for 30-something, 20-something, almost 30. I don't know, very close. We're going to find out in a minute because they talked about it. But he was right there with her through everything. He was her partner. He was her one. And y'all go by Bible, but not when it's something you don't agree with. Because don't the Bible say leave and cleave? How y'all trying to run Traci's life and her legacy when y'all didn't give not one, but because you may have given one because you could use her and you did, but y'all didn't give two shits about Traci Braxton. You didn't. Well, Traci's so right, because let's keep it real. She was a married woman. He had a last name that wasn't Braxton. Now, they debated that. They tried to say, oh, she didn't want to be seen like this. She didn't want to be seen like that. I seen a clip where Traci said herself she wanted to show, and she wanted to show some things on the show, and they denied her that. They didn't feel like it would be a good look for the show. But you know, I have my opinions about that because simultaneously we were also watching how they were treating her. So, you know, okay. But after she passed, there was also talks and debates about who was really there for her while she was sick. Well, you know, I don't care at all what any of them Braxton sisters said. I've seen enough from them. And let's keep it clear. I used to love Tony. I used to love Tawanda. You know, the tranny looking one. I used to love Trina. And Trina was the most beautiful one. I used to love Trina. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Not no more. Not no more. Oh, no. We've all seen how sneaky that these women are. Okay? And, you know, when they try to come out here and act like, you know, they were there for Traci, they were this, that, and the third for Traci. No. They only did what would suit them as far as publicity, and that's it. And we have heard out of Kevin Surratt, Traci's husband, own mouth, that he was the only one, not even her own son, the only one there with Traci when she passed. This wasn't no surprise. It wasn't no secret. They all knew she was passing. So, you know, there was a lot of drama behind that. Okay, and I just want to just spend a little time emphasizing the shadiness and the just how horrible they were with this woman in her life and when she was passing away. They brought a lot of drama concerning being around her. They even tried to exclude her husband from being around a lot of the times when she was on her deathbed. Y'all bitches thought we were gonna forget about that? Child, please. Never. Okay? Never. And I don't even have a good memory, but never. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. And the fact that y'all fuck with them right now, you know, that's just how people on the internet do. You forgive, you have short memory, and you really don't do no research and you really don't care. Which, you don't know these people, so whatever. However, Traci passed, okay? And so still ongoing drama, and it comes with anybody passing, but we got this. So now we got drama and debates about what Traci wanted, how she wanted her funeral, how she wanted her services, how she wanted her body. Debates and drama about that. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Don't nobody care that y'all are the Braxtons. That does not supersede her wishes and what her husband say. Because a person can have their wishes all day, but it is up to the person in charge to facilitate those wishes. And of course, we all hope that they do, you know. And from my observation and my opinion, Kevin Surratt was forced to compromise on what he and Traci wanted for her. Imagine being married to somebody and being with somebody for 30 years. Okay, we just gonna baseline it at 30. And y'all done had how many conversations about your future? How you gonna raise your child? You did that, right? Your grandchild, your life. Oh, we gonna build a new house. We gonna put a deck out here. We gonna, go on this trip. And next year we gonna do this. You make all your plans with that, your spouse. And then to sit up here and make plans about, okay, when I pass away, do me like this, do me like that. And then you got other people who you've watched your spouse hurt about, cry about, be disrespected on national TV for the world to see time and time again, and have them step their monkey ass up in the scene and try to get involved and try to change up and switch up and exploit your wife's passing and try to force you to do with her and her homegoing the way that they want it to be. And lie, blatantly lie. There's some lying heifers. I'm talking about lie. Oh, Traci told me this, Traci told me that, this, that, and the third. There's no way in the bloody pit of Hades that you're going to have me believe, maybe somebody else, baby, but not me. You're not going to have me believe that Traci Braxton, Traci Surratt, fuck all that, sat up here and told y'all something different than she discussed with her own husband. First of all, Traci ain't never, how the hell we know Traci better than y'all? Oh, because we genuinely fell in love with Traci. Y'all never liked her. You never really dealt with her. You only dealt with her because it was a good addition to every season. They gotta have, what we gonna do next? What we gonna introduce? How your storyline looking? They used her. You're not gonna sit up here and tell me the type of Traci that we know discuss one thing with her husband and told y'all something with all the drama y'all be having and how y'all interfere and all, and how you take advantage and how you shady and shit, that she not gonna cause that type of confusion in the first place. So let's get that straight. So no, ain't buying it. But they insisted that they knew better and they wanted different types of ceremonies and all that kind of shit, and didn't want to attend her intimate family ceremony. They wanted this type of debacle and all that other kind of stuff. And they wanted to trash and badmouth Kevin Surratt Sr. because of the way that he did her service. And Kevin said out his own mouth, I'm doing what my wife wanted. That should have been the end of it. I don't give a care, Evelyn, what came out your puss. We saw how you treated that, okay? We don't care. Once that person marries, their spouse takes precedence. How would I look coming to one of my children's spouses and telling them what for? That ain't none of my business. That ain't none of my business. I am here to help. You don't have to agree. Keep that shit to yourself. Don't nobody care. You don't own nobody, first of all. You don't own no rights to nobody either. You don't. But there are laws that we're told that are God's laws and laws in the state. And when you sign a legal binding contract, y'all will sue a person for violating your legal contract. But you're going to sit up here and act like you're not going to honor a legal contract, which is a marriage contract. That's business, baby, all day. And if you going to tell me you can't do a marital contract, which is business, then you don't respect business. You can't do business. Period. It don't got nothing to do with your emotions. It don't got nothing to do with you liking the spouse, wanting to ostracize the spouse, and none of that. It don't got nothing to do with none of that. So we got the drama with the funeral and all that shit went down. We saw how it went down. We saw how they didn't want to show up for her ceremony, and they're going to come on here and trash it because they do have, yes, Kevin Jr., they do have the bigger platform. We're going to address that in a minute. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. We've seen a lot of drama between them. But you know, Kevin Sr. did something that I am so thankful he did. And I'm pretty sure Traci, if we believe she's able to get with any of this in any kind of way in her not no longer being here, I'm pretty sure she'd appreciate it too. Him standing up for her, advocating for her. We know Traci held back a lot, but she also spoke up for herself a lot. And Kevin was very respectful and quiet a lot. So I appreciate, you know, him still advocating for her and himself. And himself. We saw Traci Braxton advocate for her husband, which she shouldn't have had to. For him to be respected. She shouldn't have to, but we saw her do that. And it is good to see him to not back down because we understand they have bigger platforms and they have more pool in their names and all that. But we see how they are hot garbage truck juice. They're just trash. Okay, my opinion, they trash. All of them. Especially the ringleader, the mama. Okay. And Kevin's Surratt Senior, sir, we right here. We watching and we're paying attention. Um, oh, I will. I'll check it out. Wow. Um, since the passing of Traci and you first came out and spoke, I've been watching from day one, paying attention. A lot of us have. Even if we don't say anything, we've been watching. All right. And I have been saying something, but we got another episode from Kevin Sr. Thank you, sir, for putting this out. And we appreciate you too, Kevin Jr., for sitting down with your father and doing this talk. Unfortunately, we've, you know, got whiff of and experienced tension and, you know, other things between the two of them, but that is to be expected. He lost his mama. Kevin Sr. lost his wife. And it's not, don't nobody pass away without people closest to them getting into it. That is some of the worst times for everybody. And listen, that person is gone. I am happy for people who pass away. Envious, even. Because they don't got to deal with nothing no more. Not a person, not a tragedy, not a sickness, not a pain, not a hunger, not a thirst, not a bill, not the economy, nothing. Don't gotta worry about nada. Okay, nothing. None of this shit y'all be talking about on the internet. They free from all of that. What's going on with them now? We don't know. All we can do is speculate. I don't care what nobody say. All you can do is speculate. You can believe what you want to believe according to what you honor and believe or whatever. I'm Hindu, Bhagavad Gita, okay, and so you know, and I don't. Everybody got to figure their own way. Now, Kevin Sr. came out with this episode with him and his son sitting at the table, and we're gonna address some things, okay? Because Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr. Had some debates about, you know, what is still ongoing, the Traci's legacy, and I did not bring up the facts of her will, which I did in previous videos, but I'm talking about just for now to have a refresher on that. But to skim memory, Traci, which people on the internet was saying she didn't leave Kevin Sr. nothing and all this kind of shit. First of all, she don't got to leave Kevin Sr. shit. Because first of all, he her husband, so he built everything with her. Now, yes, each spouse is going to have their own thing. They're going to have their own business, their own desires, their own hobbies, their own money-making machines or whatever. It still belongs to your spouse, fools. If I was married right now, everything I do it's going to belong to my husband in death. Every profit, everything. It's not for my children to run up and be like, hey, that was hers, so now it's mine. You didn't have nothing to do with that. You couldn't sew, bitch. Get the fuck. That's mine. I'm taking that. No, you can't do that. Everything about you belongs to your spouse. What's wrong with y'all? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand what the fuck y'all missing. I don't understand what you confused about. I don't understand what you debating about. And so, and share my video, like my video, share my video, because don't comment in response to me no more talking about, because I'm gonna read some of these comments, trying to change what law is, trying to say Traci, her husband, her kid, her legacy, her sisters, her mama, fuck all that. It's Kevin saying. Okay, now things that she expressed in her will, there you go. There you go. Because unless you express anything specifically, it all goes to the spouse. Now, again, from memory, and I don't want to say too much because memory can whatever, but she did leave her public image and legacy rights to her son. And honestly, I think Kevin Jr. got a big head about that. Honey, your mama know you better than anybody. She know more so what we can see. And speaking personally, I see you ain't that bright. Sorry, Traci. You got some maturing to do, some learning, growing to do, even at 30 years old. But this boy, damn near 30 years old. Child, you got a long way to go. She know all that, but you are her child. You're her offspring, and we expect our children to outlive us. So she's giving you a chance, boy, to honor her, respect her legacy and her public image, and to put her out here right, and to keep that going for as long as possible. It doesn't make sense for her to put Kevin Senior in charge of that, even though personally I think a lot of us would have preferred that, because of who's ready right now. However, long term, she's thinking, okay, now I'm getting distracted and I'm finna take this screwdriver and tighten up this handle on my drawer. But I think that what I would have preferred is if Traci would have gave it to her husband initially and said that when he feels that Kevin Jr. is ready, there we go. Now it's good and tight. Let me check the other ones real quick. Okay, I'll get it those in a minute. But I think that OCD, y'all, OCD. I think that she did it that way because she wanted to leave her son responsibility. She wanted to help him, push him into maturity faster and growth faster, and she wanted him to feel proud, a sense of pride within himself, knowing that she left him that big of a responsibility. You know, that's bigger than money, and that in itself can make money all day, every day. So I think that there's a lot of reasons that I can understand why she did that. And let's hope that in due time it pays off very well. And that Kevin Jr. doesn't continue in the way that he's going now, because right now, honey, I think you're doing your mother a great disservice and a great disrespect, you know, in a lot of ways. But let's get into this video because we're going to address some of this stuff.
Sunday dinner with grandkids.
And of course, we're going to start with a commercial because YouTube be on that bullshit. But let me get to the part where they're talking about her legacy and who is the next of kin. This was a very good conversation, deep, had a lot of tension. I'm happy to see that they got through it. I don't know if they had to cut and breathe and all that, but this is good, y'all. Keep it going. keep working on it and everything. Okay, so we start off with Kevin Jr. talking
for a little bit.
like he got knowledge.
Cool peoples. Okay. Yeah. So, trying to work hard. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. It's just
Speed it up a
this
little
Trump
bit.
ain't no joke with the job. God. You know, the federales, they on pause right now.
Okay, that's something else. We're gonna get to
keep it moving. You know what I mean? To the best of our ability.
Okay, here we go.
A lot of cases, people want to kind of like forget where we at. You know, we are.
Here we go.
Making the best of it. Sound like that's cool, man. Wanted to get the session started back up, man, and just kind of see where we at. You know, we are the next to kin with Trey, and you know, I think a lot of cases people want to kind of like forget about her legacy, and I think it'll definitely be us that keep it moving. You know what I mean? To the best of our ability. I don't think that's the case. I don't think they want to forget about her legacy. I think it's been so much that's transpired, and like so much like hands that's been involved. No one really knows where to like go from there next.
Pause that. Notice that in this conversation, Kevin Jr. seems to be wanting to challenge his father. All right, young Simba. We get it. That happens, right? But it's to be noted, and it's not good, and it's really annoying. And boy, you came out his nutsack. Okay, let's start there. And that man got some wisdom that you better hope and pray that you will get one day. And he's lived his life, and he lived his life with your mother and that family that you're siding for. He put his time in, and he's not respecting his father. But right here, when Kevin Sr. says that people are wanting to kind of sweep Traci and her legacy under the rug, that's what he is observing. He know more than we know. And we're not hearing it. They exploited the shit out of Traci when she first passed. Even had Kevin Jr. on the show on their side, had him beefing with his dad and wanted to leak to Wanda, allegedly, audio and visuals of them having family beef because the trash that she is. Y'all remember that clip we just watched? Well, some of us did because YouTube is putting it in the algorithm. When Tamar and Tony got into it, they were trying to play cards or something in their pajamas, and Tony got up and walked away because Tamar was wanting to talk about certain things that happened to her. And Tony didn't, she just wanted to have a good time. And then Tamar got up, and then Evelyn told her to come back and sit down. What's wrong? What's bothering you? But knowing good and well they didn't want her to say what really was bothering her. They just wanted her to chill out. And so Tamar was like, fuck all that gaslighting. At least that's what I'm thinking she was thinking. And she got up, she walked off, and she left out the kitchen. And Evelyn got up so fast, it looked like I thought she was having a stroke. And she was going after her, like, you know, maybe she was going to put paws on her. And Tawanda told the cameraman, go get that drama. We see you, Heifer. We see you. But, you know, they exploited Traci and her passing very much when she passed. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. And they had her all on their show. They had Kevin Jr. all on the show. And now this season, they didn't include him. Do we know why? Not really. Maybe because he is mending his relationship with their father, and they are uncertain about that. But the video from Sherelle's World tells me that he's still heavily involved with them and a lot of other stuff, but that'll be another video. However, when the dad says he feels like they're sweeping Traci's legacy under the rug, the son wants to be quick to defend the Braxtons and say, I don't think that's the case. Okay, duly noted. But we see you trying to take up for them. Okay, strike one. Let's go.
Well, you know, she had her team. She had her team and stuff. And great team, you know. I like what they did for my mom's career. But I feel like it was a point where two different industries wasn't like going
You know, it was clashing. So I think that was the biggest thing. And now I'm just trying to move forward so we can go ahead and build on the legacy she left off at. You know, she has the foundation. She still has music that can be released and stuff. And, you know, with the show, they're still trying to at least show her as much as they can. Now, only thing that I can say is she was the glue. And I think what that happening is, you know, when glue loosens, you know, it goes away. And I think that's like the biggest thing. And I was hoping for this season they have the Braxtons. It'll be me still being on there to at least give, or at least tell a story. And just be that person that can be the mouthpiece of it.
Yeah, you know, I agree with you totally, wholeheartedly. And I'm going to tell you one of the biggest problems, Kevin. And, you know, I tell people that's been in a marriage for decades.
So basically what Kevin Jr. just said, or struggled to say, was that, you know, Traci had a good team. I think she did. Her looks were amazing. She got put out music. She was on her way. God, she was on her way. And he said they did good with her. She got music that still can be put out, and he wants to be on the show so he can speak for her and push her legacy. I don't think that's the best place to do it, but this is what this little nigga here want. So, whatever. All right.
For years, they understand the values and peace about marriage. But when you go and try to discount the primary next to kin, and that was me, I really feel like God will speak. He will speak to it. And the vices and the strongholds that try to discount that will have to answer. And that's the bottom line. And I really feel like that, you know, when you stand before God and you take those vows that's given, you have to really understand that there's protection in that. And when you live that, you understand it. I'm not outside looking at it. You know what I mean? I was
Come on.
And that was the whole, how old are you?
Almost 30, I'm 29.
Right. So our marriage was the same age as your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in that, there are parameters. Now, I can sit back and listen to people say that she said, he said, we said, they said, but I know what me and her said.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And there was different times that there were conversations in reference to. So now that I look back, it's been 3 years and some change. Now that I look back on the journey that me and my wife had, one, we created a nice life. And that life I'm talking about is you, a beautiful life. As a young man, you know what I mean? We were able to pour into the situation to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
And so then I look, you know what I found out too? We were married.
I notice as they're talking, Kevin Jr. is the op. I said that. I wrote it in the comment section. Kevin Jr. is the op. He been the op since Trace passed, probably before that. But from what we can see, I see he the op. As Kevin Senior is talking, Kevin is like, yeah. Like, he want to interject and disagree. He want to disagree with his dad. He just want to buck up. Boy, sit your ass down. Now, I'm giving Kevin Senior his props because not only is he speaking, he beating his chest. Talk your shit, man. Okay? You are the primary. You are her next to kin. They trying to play. It ain't gonna happen. And he talking about standing before God. You know, everybody don't... Listen, it's a freaking legal contract. Okay? So in a court of law, all day, every day. Now, one thing you can make people respect is that. But Kevin Jr., he wants to interject. He wants to disagree. He's here to advocate and take up for the Braxtons because he want to lick all up in their butt crack. Because he want to be a part of their show. He want them to elevate him to new heights. He want money and fame. Okay.
Almost the same amount of time as your grandparents. I didn't realize that. And when people step
30
to a
years.
situation and see it as such,
Blood, sweat, and tears.
I thank God for it. Because that's the only answer I'm going to have with that. And I'm going to build off of what she wanted from the perspective of what we did. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but one thing I can say, I think we say next to kin. Because next to kin is the kids. That's kin. When you come down to kin, that's going to be kin. Now, you know, when it comes to marriage, that's matriarch. So that's who you marry.
First of all, what? Nigga, what? Kevin Jr. He said, I don't disagree with you, but... Okay, you about to disagree with him, right? And then you going to open your mouth even more. Listen, I don't blame Traci or Kevin singing. Every child is different. I, boy, you ain't got them all. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now, and you need some education. This boy said next to kin is kids. First of all, kid is a goat. Are you trying to call yourself a child? Of what? Of what? Of Satan? Because what the fuck? You a whole grown ass man. Shut your ass up. Next to kin is kids. Hey, how you doing? Next to kin is kids. Y'all hit the like button. Thank you. No, no, no. Yes, you were created in her womb and she ported you here and all that kind of shit. If Traci didn't have no husband, you be her next to kin. Traci had a husband and you looking at him and you talking to him and you gonna look that man in his face and tell him that you are her next to kin over him. Boy, you out your... This is as dumb as the debates people have online. Who I'ma serve first? My husband or my children? If you gotta ask that question, you shouldn't even got married. Who you gonna serve first? Y'all be serious with that? Who come first? My husband or my children? I seen this debate online too, just the other day. My husband or my children? They tried the girl Rose and her husband. Controversial. They had a lot of drama. They had a post where she was outside. No, she was in the garage playing with her children. And the husband comes through. He had the baby in his arms. He picks up the wife. He kisses her. He walks away with her. And some of the children's like, hey, you going with my mom? Like, well, you can bring her back. She was with us. Like, you know, kind of like that. And her caption was kind of like showing my children that my husband comes first. Oh, that girls went crazy in the freaking comment section. Stay single, baby. Just stay single. Okay. Now, Kevin Jr. tells his daddy, Traci's husband, that he come first just because Traci gave birth to him. Bitch, your mama was married to that man. He got precedence over you. Dummy. You big dummy. Oh, how big of a dummy is he? Oh, he says to his own daddy. You try to emasculate your daddy? Like, what's really going on? This boy said to his daddy that he is the matriarch of Traci. So you saying your daddy is your mom's matriarch? There's nothing about daddy, father, papa that starts with an M. I mean, I'm just giving you the elementary version. Don't start with an M. Mama starts with an M. Mother starts with an M. Do you know what matriarchy means? Women's. And matriarchy and husband and wife, different categories. You told your father that he's the matriarch of your mother. Get off the internet, boy, and go to school. Okay? Get off the internet and do some studying. No. So he trying to say he is next to kin to Traci. No, you're not. Your father is Doodlebird. And then he gonna tell Kevin that Kevin is Traci's matriarch. Traci would be the matriarch of your household, boy. Because she's the head mama. She's the head woman, right? Okay. Evelyn Braxton would be the matriarch of the overall family because she's the one who everybody begot from. Okay, she gave birth to all your mama that begot you and all that kind of... Boy, go learn something. Shit, fuck.
Together. You say, you want to continue on, but she's already started, y'all two already started. That can never be stopped. But you and Mother Hat can never be stopped. You can always build off of what y'all two already established.
Gaslight.
No one can take that from you at all.
To death did us part.
Exactly.
We're going to rewind this part where he said to his daddy.
Found out too, we were married almost the same amount of time as your grandparents. I didn't realize that. And when people step to a situation and see it as such, I thank God for it, because that's the only answer I'm gonna have with that. And I'm gonna build off of what she wanted from the perspective of what we did. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but one thing I can say, I think we say next to kin. Because next to kin is the kids. That's kin. When we come down to kin, that's going to be kin. You know, when it comes to marriage, that's matriarch. So that's who you marry. You know, to come bring the parents together. But you say, you know, you want to continue on what she's already started. What you thought you already started. That can never be stopped. But you and mother had can never be stopped. You know, you can always build off of what y'all two already established when y'all was married. No one can take that from you at all.
To death do this part.
Exactly. But when it comes to everything else, that essentially,
Because he about to say some bullshit. Listen, Kevin Sr., I wouldn't have said to death do us part. Because in this situation, it's beyond passing and really in any. When your spouse passed and you still got business of theirs to handle, there's no death do you part. We need to just get rid of that. If you lose a spouse and you just move on, there's nothing to handle. Oh, excuse me. Or you've handled it all, like you've dealt with their estate, and after that, there's no legacy you're trying to deal with. There's nothing to have ongoing, traumas or debates. No business, no further business. Okay, the estate is handled. Then you could say to death do us part, move on. But even if you remarry, if that person has an ongoing business situation that you're still dealing with, or a legacy which still is business that you're dealing with, then there's no part. You ain't going nowhere. You still right here handling business with this partner, because I think that's a forever thing. That's why even in some religions, that first marriage is the only marriage. It's the real marriage, and it never ends. You don't get pardoned for that. Even if you remarry, in some religions, that's illegal, and it's not even valid. So I wish he wouldn't have said that, because in their minds, the way simple people think, it's like, okay, well, she did now, so bye. You see what I'm saying? Like,
They don't matter, but it's a platform that is able to be used, and you just build it from there. Whether or not you...
I know y'all, but listen, this is where Kevin got me fucked up. Listen, boy, we watching right now. Let me see how many views they got. 4K views. 2 days, I don't get those kind of views. So we can start there. I'm talking about it. I know other people gonna talk about this. I'm sorry. I love Traci. I'm paying attention, and I'm on her husband's side all day, every day. Okay, so I'm looking for what he got going on with Traci, and I know there's a lot of people that are, and I don't doubt at all, and you shouldn't doubt yourself. But I see that self-esteem and that you just ain't a man. But it's all good. Maybe one day, grasshopper. But y'all got your own platform. You are Traci's son. Even if I was to pass away, I wouldn't want my children going seeking out somebody else shit because they bigger or whatever. Bitch, be your own voice. Create your own motion. Call attention. You can't do that? We talking about Traci Braxton. Her name already by itself gonna ring bells. We gonna find you. Somebody gonna talk about it and share it. And then everybody gonna flock to it. Get them motherfuckers some competition. Respect your mama. Why you trying to pass her and put her in the hands of the same people that caused her hurt and grief since she was a freaking teenager? You
still have a piece of it. You always will have a piece of it.
I would never let anything, any person take that.
As you should,
because the one thing about
it, and you wasn't divorced, you stayed with her till she passed. So there's nothing that anyone can say to change the narrative.
Nobody needs your validation.
I was kind of upset that I was left alone with her the day that she passed. But then I thought about it as time moved, and I sat in that room until the funeral home came, and I said, I get it. It took me a while to get it, you know what I mean? But I did get it that last week, and her...
I'm sorry, for those who didn't get that part, And it's your first time hearing him say this, for Tawanda Line Ass, who was there with Tracy, bitch bye. Kevin Surratt singing says he had a problem with the fact that he was alone with Tracy when she passed. And he's not saying in those seconds, in those minutes, in that day. He's saying he was alone with Tracy when she passed. And there's more to that story. Y'all can go look that up. But I believe I already talked about that in another video, right? So he is saying, you know, when he was sitting there and the funeral home came to get her body, okay, still there alone by herself. Even this little young man was not there when his mother passed away. Even Kevin Surratt Jr., Tracy Braxton's son, only son, her son, wasn't there when she passed away. If anything, I want my boys there with me when I pass away. Her own son wasn't there, but he got all this mouth. He knows some things. Okay, with his substance abuse issues. Wife left him. And he does what again? I'm sorry. What's his skills, his talents, his how does he make money? What does he do? I don't know. Did he work at Burger King? I mean, what does he do?
The day that it snowed, you know, she passed 5 days before Tamar's birthday. So I'm like the timing, and then a couple of weeks before her birthday, because their birthdays were close, you know what I mean? And so I look at the whole thing, and once I was able to really tune into it, because I have a lot of naysayers come to me and they say stuff like, let it go. Why you this? Why you that? And none of them lived in it. You know what I mean? So the naysayers to me are individuals who didn't live that life.
Right.
Who don't understand
And he being
life.
nice, because how you going to tell this man for what? How you going to tell him for what? This is his life, his business, his wife. Have you lost your everlasting mind? Just because you get to watch them on the internet, that don't mean you get to come to this man and be like, let it go. Let yourself go in the river.
I guarantee you, the majority
hold
of
your
them
nose, hold your mouth.
So with that, building her
jump
legacy
in the river.
And making sure she never is discounted. But that's one thing that really bothered her. That was a part of her having her own management team. That was a part of her creating her own image and likeness. That was the reason she did it, because she felt like she wasn't getting it, and she wasn't gonna let it. She wasn't gonna let it fly no more. That's one. Hold up. One thing. No, I'm talking about one thing.
He trying to cut his own daddy off. He advocating for Tracy. He telling it for Tracy. Shit that I already know. Y'all know if you've been paying attention. They had to advocate for this. Like I said in the beginning of the video, they had to advocate for Tracy to get notoriety, for her to get her own team, for her to get her shit popping. Because she said, I'm done with y'all calling me the wannabe. I'm done with y'all putting me on here to wannabe. And the story is about I'm upset because they left me and they ain't get to be a part of the group of shit. Okay, sing that song, done that, they ain't gonna respect. Whatever. Give me my shit now. He trying to cut him off. I could snap the shit. Boy, we'd had to cut them cameras off.
One thing about her, she did and met her dreams and aspirations the way she wanted to do it. Right. She did that. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I said this before. There were days I was like, Trey, even me and you talk one time. You know what I mean? Me and you talk about the monetary piece that you like, you know, she ain't capitalized on it, but she did. She capitalized on what she wanted, what she dreamed about. When she did Blues Alley, I said, wow, that right there did it for me. She stepped into that alley in that stage, and she did her thing. And Mikey came, and he did a duet with her. Mm-hmm. So all this stuff,
the brother.
We can sit back. I was watching the episode today.
I mean, she had a good relationship with her brother. But Kevin Jr. has this narrative about his mother. In my opinion, he is, how can I say, he's not proud of her. He's disrespectful of her. He feels like she didn't do enough to capitalize off herself, her name, her talents. Kevin, don't nobody care about your opinions. And it's sad that you had that opinion about your mother, because, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Okay. We only see you and know you because of Tracy. You only even here on this earth because of Tracy. And your dad, you know. But he wants to do that now. You want to disrespect your mother and say she didn't capitalize enough off her name. The woman who we saw was dying of cancer. And it's like he's not even taking that into account, because the things that his father is mentioning that she did, if y'all ain't see none of this, go back and look it up. This woman was dealing with cancer when she did all this. She was putting it down as much as she could before she would leave. And the boy, he's a boy, 30-year-old boy. He wants to downplay that and underestimate already legacy. And he think he can do better for her own legacy than she did. You someone else. You don't even know what a matriarch is. You don't even know who the next of kin is. You boy, go learn something.
Watching an episode today. I watched the episode today. I watched one yesterday in reference to her. Remember when she did the cancer walk?
Oh, yeah. I saw my old teacher that day, too.
Yeah, that's right. And she did, this was hilarious, man. Remember when she said, my albino sisters?
I remember y'all saying that.
Oh, my God, man. And she said to all my women with the below the waist cancer, whatever you want to call it. And then she said to all my albino women, you should have seen your grandfather's face. Mine's too.
Albino women.
I said
He don't get it because he's slow. Because Kevin Jr. is slow. He don't get it. He gonna have to look it up. He probably won't even look it up. He probably don't know how to look nothing up. Because when they debating the legacy and everything, he's saying his father told him to Google it. And he's saying tell the audience to weigh in on it. Okay, and they did. And we gonna get to some of those comments because y'all gonna shut the fuck up responding to me. Because here's my response. Okay, you do some research and fuck your feelings. It's about what's legal. Now, she said albino sisters, albino women. Y'all know, yeah, I ain't gonna give y'all everything. But damn, cancer, chemotherapy, albino, downstairs. Okay, it was jokes. She had like a almost a gore type human sometimes. Okay.
All these people in the crowd.
I said, I don't know where I was at for that.
Your mom was a comedian, man, and then she did the walk.
Yeah.
And that walk was just yesterday here.
It was?
Yeah.
Didn't get rained out?
No, actually, no. It was nice. The Susan...
It was a Susan awareness?
Or Susan B something, I think.
Yeah.
But she did that, man. And I laughed at some of the things she used to do. But once upon a time, she's like, why are you doing that?
She was her own self.
She was her own self. Yeah.
That's why I feel like, you know, when you say a lot of things like that, you know, her own self, and what she would say, I don't know. I thought the same thing about Lauren. Because Lauren had the same kind of spirit that my mom had. Yeah. So I'm like, why are you doing? Like, what are you doing? But everybody thought it funny. I was like, she's not funny, y'all. Like, why y'all think she's funny? She's not funny.
Oh, so he brought up Lauren. Now, for those of y'all who did not know, this was also shown on the show. Kevin Jr. was cool with Ashley and Lauren. Mainly Lauren. Him and Lauren were close. Traci. Lauren was like a daughter to Traci. Lauren is Michael, the daughter, the one who is no longer with us. That's another video. But if y'all remember seeing how Traci grieved Lauren, and they had the therapy sessions, and she really couldn't film during that time. She just cried and 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 cried. There was so much that she knew, but Kevin Jr., he brought up Lauren now. Now watch when the dad speaks on Lauren.
It's the same thing with your mom.
Everyone loved her. I'm like, okay, just keep doing your thing. I can't shut you up at this point. So, hey, love, that's how you want to say things and do things, by all means. And that was like another, like, you know, like I say, glue. You feel me? A lot of these things that happen, and the tragedies, is like, damn, they're not here no more. So what can we do to pick up the pieces?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, your mom really fell in love with Lauren because of. You know what the because of is?
I feel like there was a light. Like
Definitely. That's why she felt that daughter.
Yeah.
You know, mom connection. And Lauren was kind of pushed out. And your mom felt that too, at a good point. She said this to me. Huh?
Warner Robins and surrounding areas.
Commercial. Did y'all hear that though? Kevin Senior says Lauren was, he said kinda, but you know, he being nice. She was pushed out. Not that we gonna switch subjects, however, just remember that Kevin Senior said that. He said Lauren was pushed out. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. So if Lauren, who is a Braxton, who is Michael's own child, and we know that includes Ashley too. We know, come from her own mouth, and the fact that she went to Spain to live. If Lauren was pushed out, can you imagine what happened to her mother? Her mother. There ain't no way in the bloody pit of Hades that I'm gonna believe that Ashley and Lauren's mother left the children on her own. Kevin Senior just said Lauren was pushed out. Can you imagine what her mother was? And he, my opinion at this point, however, Kevin Senior is not just talking about the daddy Michael. And just to pre-reference a different video that we gonna do on Lauren, why would Lauren be pushed out? Ask yourself that. Why? And we can continue to pray for Ashley and her safety, but you know, we got the spotlight on this now. You know, so something happened to Ashley, y'all. That shit gonna get investigated all the way. Okay? I'm just saying. Here we go. Let's get back to it. And greetings to everyone who has joined us now. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna rewind it just a little bit.
She felt that daughter.
Yeah.
You know, mom connection. And Lauren was kind of pushed out. And your mom felt that too, at a good point. She said this to me. Huh?
Like it's a baby.
Tell me what you about.
Nah, cause I don't. Cause I'm speaking on Mikey's character too. I don't feel like that's cool.
So I lived it. So like everything that I speak on, I saw it.
I understand that.
So I'm not talking about nobody's character, and they're already talking about things this season in reference to characters. So I'm not going to talk about anyone's character. I'm gonna talk about.
She got pushed out.
Well, it could be a lot of ways she was pushed out.
Oh, well,
tell me what you think I'm thinking about.
Pushed out. I have a few ideas what you mean by being pushed out. I mean, I don't feel like she got pushed out. I feel like just how on our side of the states, we got this side, that side, we got LA side.
So I lived it, right? And so what I mean by I lived it, I
Now
held
he
both of
is-
them in my arms. They was babies.
I understand
Right?
that.
So do you remember their mother?
I never.
Yeah, I remember their mother, right? So it's not like I wasn't there. I wasn't 100%
I'm
there.
not saying he wasn't there.
So what I'm saying is when I say push out, I can say it from a whole lot of levels.
So
Because Ashley just talked about what she went through, right?
Yeah.
So I knew what she was going through on many levels. Many levels. And myself and your mom used to talk about this. So it's not like I don't know all these different levels of what happened. And as far as me going into details, I'm not going to do that. Not on
Yet.
this. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying to you is,
Because he might
I
have
want people
to.
to understand that there's so many people that said, Traci said, Traci said, Traci said. So what I'm saying is,
Listen, Kevin Jr., I just want somebody to put, okay? God, just give me a minute, y'all. Listen. That boy getting on my nerves. Y'all hear it for yourself. I'm not even going because I'm hungry. And I got to work out. And I'm hungry. So I'm going to finish this. Boy, he giving him grace. Mm.
But now we here.
Okay, what I'm saying to the
What nigga, what you say?
many levels, and myself and your mom used to talk about this. So it's not like I don't know all these different levels of what happened. And as far as me going into details, I'm not going to do that. Not on this. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying to you is, I want people to understand that there's so many people that said, Traci said, Traci said, Traci said.
Now we here.
So what I'm saying is,
But now we here.
okay, what I'm saying to the naysayers, my wife said so much to me over the decades. And I've seen things over the decades. You ever been to South Carolina?
Stand your ground, boy.
Nah.
I have.
I
Sir.
drove through there. That's it.
No, I've been to South Carolina.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So I have Jacksons in my family, and the Jacksons of South Carolina are down there too. So what I'm saying is, I have a lot of history that I lived from the beginning to the end. And I know that's a part of why some don't want me involved.
Y'all better catch that
Right?
lemonade.
Because I can speak on a lot of stuff. Trust and believe that. See, the thing started to bloom when the Braxtons came on. But when we was in the dark, the first tour.
If you
I
know,
showed
you
a
know.
picture of the first tour. You know what I mean? I know about the cosmetic stuff, all that. But I want her legacy not to die. That's the key.
That's the only conversation. That her legacy.
I got you, but you're not going to discount. You're not going to discount what me and her did.
But one thing, I'm doing, me, myself, I'm not discounting you. Nothing you got that wrong with me. That's not me doing it. I'm telling you that we were able to still do things with our legacy. We're able to still explore and still.
I don't need nobody to. I don't need. What I'm saying is, I don't need
You
nobody to
bucking?
tell me. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm telling you.
I hope y'all caught. I'm not gonna get into it because with y'all we be here all day, and like I said, I'm ready to eat and work out. He doing too much for me. I just gotta take a pause because I want to jump through this and go back, and I need some magic because I want to go back there and first I gotta go back to my grandma's house, and I gotta pick a switch. I'm talking about a good one. 3 of them. And in fact, this just for Kevin. This the worst switching you can get from grandma. 3 of them. Okay. Braided together. Wet and braided. Okay. With the leaves on the end. And then I could jump through the phone and go where they at and be like, Kevin Senior, just give us a minute. Okay. Can you step out for a second? And just take them pants down and my grandma used to say, tan that hide. That's what she say, tan that hide. Do you know a tan? How you gonna tan this hide? I'm already tan. Oh.
I'm gonna tell you why. No, I'm gonna tell you why.
What I feel right now is you're saying like I want to do this and that, but these people in the back, I'm like, okay, right now we focus on right now what we do today. But we can't change yesterday.
No.
It's like he's saying, shut up. Don't talk about none of that. Shut your mouth. And just stay on this. It's like he trying to be the, what y'all call it? Handler for his own father. He trying to tell this man to shut up. But he can't again talk about somebody that gave birth to his ass. Dead man walking.
No. I'm not saying. No. I'm not trying to change. I'm not trying to change.
We need to figure out how to move forward with our legacy.
Oh, that's gonna happen.
And do better as a legacy. Like I say, she has the foundation. We know the stuff that she left off. She loved with the kids. Doing the dance, the arts and stuff. She has music. There's so much stuff we can do, and it's just about how we do it.
See, I don't want you to misunderstand something. All right. I mean, like say for example, it's a thing that's stuck in the mind right now. Like that comment you made. I was born into this. He married into this. If you understand that, you would have never said that. You would have never said that. But I understand the influences that were involved in that. What I'm saying to you is this. And with my wife, legally, I was next to Ken. Right? I understand there was
That's kids. That's Ken.
With my wife, I was next to Ken.
We can look it up with Ken. Ken is kids.
I understand.
But you was the matriarch. You was the person that married to them. But Ken is kids. It gets passed on to the Ken, which is the kids.
I'm not talking about passing on. I'm talking about
Next to Ken, which would be kids. Maybe it gets passed down to the Ken.
you Google it. So what I'm saying to you is, it's important to understand.
He shut that
me and her
down.
made-
He said, Google it. First of all, you want to be a kid, go be a goat, bad, sheep, whatever the heck you want to be. But you, a kid don't got nothing to do with humans. Okay, whoever started that. So let's get that straight. Secondly, you fortunately are not next to kin over your daddy, boy. You're not. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. Your daddy was married to that woman, and so the spouse is next to kin. The spouse is next to kin. Yes, over the children. The spouse is next to kin. Not in your feelings, not in your heart, but legally. You understand me? The spouse is next to kin. Kevin Surratt Jr. Sir, let me tell you something else too. You calling your daddy your mama's matriarch, it tells me that you need to just go and sit in the corner somewhere, okay? And put your pull-ups back on, okay? Because you ain't ready for no big boy draws. You told your daddy that he is your mama's matriarch. Do you know what a matriarch is? You need to learn. That's your homework. Learn who is legal next to kin. Learn that a kid is an animal. A goat, preferably. But it is not a human child. But you are an adult. And just because your mother willed you some rights, it don't mean you her next to kin, fool. Your mother's husband is her next to kin. And he sure ain't her matriarch. Nah, that's not what a matriarch is. Okay. Only a woman can be a matriarch. With that being said, I'm out.